I'm Eric Lanigan with Lanigan&Lanigan attorneys in Winter Park, Florida. I'm going to talk for just a moment about certain aspects of what we generally refer to as white-collar crime. Generally, you think of white-collar crime as things other than, robbing a bank, hijacking a car, kidnapping. Those are not white-collar crimes. White-collar crimes generally are referring to those things that involve some aspect of criminal activity within a business environment. Insider trading, bankruptcy fraud, those types of things. White-collar generally coming from the idea that when people historically wore white shirt and coat and tie if they were in management, and blue collar were the people who wore work shirts and were generally more in the workforce. So that's how historically that delineation came about. Now, because white collar crime will tend to involve some aspect of business, whether it be tax law, securities, bankruptcy, franchise, all of those types of areas, there'll be a violation of some aspect of those laws. And that happens more and more today because over the last 25 or 30 years, there's been a huge trend to criminalize things. There's a lot of things that might be wrong that you could get sued over, but you didn't go to jail over them. What's trended over the last 25 or 35 years is turning a lot of that type of activity, everything, into criminal conduct. So when you get into those highly specialized areas, I've always recommended to people either make sure that the lawyer you have has a very specific knowledge and understanding and experience in that arena, or that they bring onto the team a lawyer who is a specialist in that area. So for instance, if somebody's being sued for bankruptcy fraud, I shouldn't say sued, if they're being charged with bankruptcy fraud, then you want to make sure that you have on your team someone who is a specialist in bankruptcy law, who can talk about the ins and outs of the particular statute within the bankruptcy code that you're being charged with criminally violating. The same thing would be securities fraud, income tax fraud, even criminal violations of state regulatory laws, such as if you're regulated by the Department of Professional Regulation for insurance licensing, real estate licensing, and they come in and charge you with a criminal violation of the state law regulating your particular industry. Do you have somebody who knows that industry on the team? Not just who can go in and make spellbinding arguments before a jury in the criminal court, but who knows the law in that arena and can seriously talk about whether or not your conduct is what that law was intended to prohibit. So make sure that you've got a specialist on your team in that arena. I've seen it make all the difference in the world, where a lawyer is talking about a subject matter and you realize he really doesn't know anything about it except the most basic things. So make sure you take that precaution. It may cost you a few more dollars, but it may keep you out of jail. Again, I'm Eric Lanigan with Lanigan&Lanigan attorneys in Winter Park, Florida.